Good afternoon. Steve Harmon here, Oakland Cemetery in Hampton, Virginia. Today is January the 2nd of 2024, and hopefully I can take up less than 10 minutes of your time to show you this summary that I did, and I kind of started it kind of late, so but I'm playing catch up here. So hopefully this year I'll stay on top of it, and I'll start it this month and get in a proper order here. But what I'm going to try to do is go over this. And first of all, I did a table of content. I'm not going to go through this too much because we're going through it anyways. But first of all, I'd like to thank all the people, all the contributors for all the support of 2023. 2023 started out really rough. We had a lot of rain, a lot of heat, and the grass just really growed in the beginning of the grass cutting season. And I normally try to get down there about at sunrise and start cutting. But most of the time this year, the grass was too wet to start, and so I had to wait several hours before I could start cutting grass because it looked so bad, it was clumping up. But we got it. It looks good, and thanks to all these people because it sure turned out really nice this year. And I got a little wish list here. Fill material. We need some good fill material for filling in a lot of low graves. This is a normal, reoccurring task that happens, I believe, in all cemeteries, but without the fill material, it makes it really rough. We do have a lot of elderly people that come down, and they come from all over the United States. And when they're down here, they're going to come visit the graves. So if I do see them, I try to caution them about the low spots. And but they're going to go visit the graves. The other issue is, the walkways are gone. All the walkways you can see on the map, they have been internments. People have been buried in the walkways, and a lot of them have flat stones. A lot of them have raised stones. So, but that makes a problem. And a lot of the vaults need repair. Some of the tops are sugared up and are about to cave in, and almost all of them need to be set to the proper depth. Now, there was two that did cave in, and both of them were repaired, and but they're temporary fixes. Except one of them, the cemetery lady did get a top that's I'll show you here in a minute, is really supportive. It needs to be leveled off. I don't know if it's the right thing, but it's better than having these holes in there. And so hopefully this year, the cemetery lady is going to try to come down and do some history events on the different people that are buried in the cemetery here. And I also plan on doing a video after this of some reoccurring tasks that we normally have to do. And, like any other business or any other cemetery, these are tasks that reoccur. But what I'm going to show you here before I get started here is an internment sheet. After reviewing some of the internment sheets by the different funeral homes, is when they bury somebody, they fill out a temporary sheet to identify their locations. And so what I'm finding, a lot of these vaults, their names are almost gone on almost all of them. I don't know what the material composition is on them, but it's wearing away pretty big. And there are still some temporary markers out there. And Sean Verman has been going through and GPSing a lot of them, which is really helpful. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you an internment sheet that I propose to try to use. All right. As you can see here, it's got the name, first name, last name, middle name, birth date, death date, section, and location. And you can see, say to the right, to the center, to the front. I got two centers here. and say back left, back center, um, back right. But you can see how this stone, you know, has went through. Now this is the one they had the heavy duty top on, but you can see how these are breaking through. Now this was done years ago before I ever started there. Uh, but then again, we'd have some notes, bolts damage, verification performed by personal observation or temporary marker bolt top, or a verification performed by certified record. One's a single asterisk, the other's a double asterisk sign off here. But you know, a certified record. I mean, your death certificates are basically tell you what cemetery it is. It don't tell you what location it is. But this is something I added. But there's so many younger people coming down to this cemetery that their loved ones, have passed away when these were just children, and they're trying to find, where their mother, father, or other relatives are buried at. And a lot of them I can't help. I mean, because I have no idea where they're at. But anyways, this is what I thought we do is do something like this, and then with maybe a different picture that kind of show you a little bit more of the location where they're at, so they can see uh, where these people are located. Because some of them they're going to, they're going to be gone. The markings are going to be gone. But that's just a suggestion. And all right, let me get back to the summary here. Okay, in January, we're still cutting and removing this tree that fell. Okay, that fell in October, and there's tree trimming. Okay, 4 and 6, removing leaves, pine needles, pine cones. Well, this went on, in these sections as well. February is still cutting it up, as you can see. There's just a couple pictures I put in here to see, but all this had to be cut several times to move it and then to be able to load it on the truck. Not too many people wanted it, and then, all the way into February and March here. See, I'm barely getting up. One thing is nice, though, the city allows us to dispose of it at the landfill. I'll call the Parks and Recreation, not Parks and Recreation, maybe I call the city or send them an email knowing them I'm coming. But that can cost $30 to $50 a truckload, and the nice thing of it is, we're doing it free, so you're looking over $1,200, if not more, a year just to take all the stuff we're taking there and dumping, and there's no taxes coming in from the place, so that's pretty good help. And we start cleaning. We start cleaning some stones if it's warm enough, and started some preventive maintenance on the ride lawnmowers, weed eaters, things like that. And we're here in April, still cleaning pine needles and pine cones, and we're continuing to clean stones, inventory replacement parts for the weed eaters, chainsaws, ordering replacement parts for equipment, continue cleaning, continue cutting the grass. Here we started cutting the grass. Cutting the grass, continue cleaning. So most of it is going to be cutting grass and trying to maintain it. Cleaning, cutting the grass. Starting to boil down a little bit in September, okay? And in August here, you can see we started the YouTube channel, and kind of new to doing videos and things, but what I wanted to try to do was at least to video the whole cemetery while the grass was still green and while it was cut, and it looked pretty decent. But boy, was it hot and humid when I did these videos. But it came out okay. And hopefully, like I said, the cemetery lady agreed to try to come down and do some videos that may help get some historic significance to the cemetery. She knows a lot of the history and a lot of the history of the people that are buried there, and we plan on making a history folder for that. And so we did some continue cleaning. As you can see, leave section 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Well, as a minimum, the grass may not be cutting all over the place, but as the leaves start to fall, it's best to go ahead and go over these areas and mulch the leaves up, because if you don't, they get too high, it doesn't do any good with the lawnmower as far as mulching them. They'll bulge up under the front, and you're basically just pushing leaves. And so that's what I found out this year. And I'll take several truckloads of leaves, pine cones, and pine needles, and some small limbs that have fell. We've been pretty lucky. No big limbs have fell this year so far. Just small, small limbs that you can cut by hand that maybe come down in a storm, some dead limbs. Nothing really, any fresh limbs where it broke off. But we did do a really good job on resetting some stones this year, and they turned out really nice. A lot of work, and that's about what we did. The other thing I like to do is show the find a grave. Okay, now find a grave. This is my my ID number on Find a Grave. Okay. So, but I said in one of the videos I gave the wrong information. But what we did here was, if you go back, this is the home page for Oakland Cemetery. And over here, down to the left, that's the ID number for Oakland Cemetery, which I made a mistake at. But I'm going to show you here recent memorials. Okay. All right. And so, as you can see here, there's 4,600 people so far buried in here. And these were recently done. And so I went through and I counted approximately 130 entries were made just in 2023 into Oakland Cemetery. And what that consists of some historians doing their research and finding that these individuals were interned at Oakland Cemetery, and they add them. Okay, and so, which was a good thing. And as you can see, these, for example, right here, that Mr. Sean Verman located and added, added, were ones that were missed. They were, as you can see, 2003, 2000, for example, 98. These were ones that were missed. Okay, and then I think there's about 7 to 8 that were actually buried at Oakland Cemetery this year. See here, she was buried here this year. And I'm just going to go through a few because, like I say, there's a lot of them here. But to give you an idea of what's going on at the cemetery for 2023. And my profile, which we opened up at, is right here. And I do have a link here to Oakland Cemetery. And but that's pretty well it. Hopefully I can do a better job next year. And I thank you for taking the time to watch. And I'll be hopefully doing some more.